Welcome to Worth Following Weekly, 5-minute mentoring sessions that explore the concepts and tactics we all need to practice and pursue in order to become a leader who is worth following. I'm your host, lead facilitator for Roots to Sky Consulting, Mark Legbold. We just spent 3 weeks talking about nonverbal superpowers and becoming skilled in your superpowers. It takes both constant awareness and practice, but also a sense of self-reflection and observation. If you've been doing that, keep it up. It takes work. I was being interviewed the other day by a member of our local media and was asked my opinion on whether good leaders are born or developed. The easy answer is both. People who have natural abilities and skills should always work to develop them to a higher level. If they don't, they can squander their gifts. On the other hand, people who start with literal natural ability can become fantastic leaders and can be seen by people who are worth following by their sheer brute force of work on themselves. That's why Worth Following and any other leadership development resource is worth following. So click to subscribe. A little work each day can make a huge difference. Great leaders, leaders who are worth following, find people who inspire them and motivate them, regardless of their own natural talent and abilities. They're open about having people they rely on for advice and counsel, regardless of title or position. Leaders who are worth following see leadership not just as a natural trait, but as a skill worth developing, practicing, and reflecting on purposefully. Nearly every skill that leaders need to develop and hone can be strengthened by the leader themselves through the development of a habit of self-reflection. Harvard Business Review asked 442 executives to reflect which experience most advanced their professional development and had the greatest impact on making them better leaders. While we all lean forward a little and look for that one thing we can experience, the result of that survey was a little different. Rather than focus on the actual events, Professors James R. Bailey and Scheherazade Rehman, the authors, noted that the experiences were diverse, but the responses were from the heart, embarrassing, thoughtful, and self-effacing. The things that had the largest impact in making those 442 leaders worth following touched their heart and inspired their action. Change happens in the heart, and it impacts our abilities. But the article did assert that there are 3 primary themes that touch these leaders the most: surprise, failure, and frustration. They further asserted that by reflecting on these specific areas, we can develop our skills as a leader. It's in the action of reflecting that we grow. The skills of self-reflection take work, but there are some easy starts. One way is to start a journal. Now, some swear by journaling daily. Others are good weekly. Frankly, I've always been pretty bad at it, but I do practice a different self-reflective exercise: self-talk. Sometimes out loud. Now be careful who's around. It's mostly in my head. Now I can focus on questions surrounding personal growth by asking myself these questions. What surprised me today? What did I fail at today? And what frustrated me today? We can enter into a dialogue with ourselves that allows us to enter into a space for growth. If you're not good at starting here, I'm going to give you a tip. Find a sticky note. In Minnesota, we call them Post-its. And write surprise, failure, frustrated on them. Those 3 words. Post it on the dash of your car. And each time you drive someplace, turn the radio off for 5 minutes and ask yourself the 3 questions that Bailey and Raymond built for us. 5 minutes of peace and quiet and self-reflection. From there, you could try to grow into a practice of adding a new word, and that's learn. What have I learned from those 3 things? Then you can add change. How can I change from what I've learned from surprise, frustration, and failure? Raymond and Bailey really stress the importance of journaling, and it is a great practice, But I know we're all busy people, and it's sometimes tough to implement all the things that are good for us. But by starting to self reflect in moments that we have, building 5 minutes of personal growth into our regular day, we can build the skills that keep us developing into leaders who are worth following. So start with your self talk on surprise, frustration, and failure, and be vulnerable with yourself. Soon, you and those around you will see and feel the difference. Like I said earlier, I'd like to invite you to share this video and click to subscribe. Share it with developing leaders around you, and they will become leaders who are worth following. We'll see you next week.